I want to talk about how to deal with rejection because this is such a normal thing to happen in the industry, but it's important to talk about because it is good for resilience and it's a good thing to protect your mental health. One thing I would recommend not to do is to internalize rejection, especially because this industry is so competitive. The minute you start internalizing it by saying, like, I'm not good enough, that's why they rejected me, or I'm not strong enough, is when you start believing it, it starts manifesting. And then in a way, you end up kind of self-sabotaging any future roles that you're applying for because it's evident that you're not necessarily confident within yourself that you are deserving of that role. But it's also important to know that rejection is such a normal process in this industry. It doesn't matter how big you are. It's such a busy industry, such a competitive industry. Yeah, if you start internalizing it by saying, I'm not good enough, I'm not strong enough, other people are better than me, that is when you really start going into a cycle that is really harmful to yourself and to your well-being. So one way to counteract internalizing rejection is by using a lot of those I am statements. So in a more positive light, just telling yourself, I am smart, I am beautiful, I am capable. And this rejection is not a reflection of who I am and what I am worth. So that's a really important thing to note, to say, like, you are worthy of, yeah, of the things that you want. We know that saying, as one door closes, another one opens, but how do you know that a door is open if you're just constantly looking at the door that's closed? So I encourage you that once you get rejected, honestly, once that door is closed, look for other opportunities, apply somewhere else, and forget about that door that has closed because it wasn't for you. And really look and focus on the blessings and the people that want to work with you. Trust me, it is so much more exciting to be with people who want to work with you, who want to elevate you as much as you want to elevate yourself and as much as you want to work with them as well. It's so much more exciting. The shoots are so much better and the atmosphere, the environment is so much better. I remember, like, there was a job that I went into, which I'm not going to say like who it was. It was something that maybe younger or past me would have, jumped at the opportunity. But I remember the environment was just, it was a bit cold. It was very The Devil Wears Prada, which is my favorite movie, by the way, but it was very The Devil Wears Prada. It was very cold and everyone was just kind of talking about each other in a negative light. And I remember kind of leaving that like job and just being like, wow, I understand like why I didn't get these jobs. Like I really just felt like it was a godsend. A lot of the time you don't even get the actual like rejection letter or notification from the casting agents. You literally just don't hear back from them. So I mean, I personally don't like that because, you put in a lot of time applying for the role and the least that someone could do is just tell you haven't been successful. But the industry is very fast paced. So they don't really have much time to kind of tell every single individual that's applied that they've not been successful. So I would say typically within about a week or two of applying for a role, if you haven't heard back from them, I would personally, I take that as a rejection and I kind of move on. I don't really want to spend so much time kind of mulling over a certain role because they're quite quick. Like they really are quite quick in terms of knowing whether they want someone or not. So I would consider myself as someone that is quite introspective and self-reflective, and I do that a lot. And I think it's a good way to deal with rejection, especially when you want to know how to build yourself up a bit more so that you can be more attractive to the roles that you're applying for. So sometimes taking, some time to really reflect on the applications that you've given out, to really look at your portfolio to see genuinely how strong is it? Can I make it stronger? And asking yourself these kinds of questions can really help you to build yourself up in a way that is more marketable to casting agents and to the roles that you're applying for. It's different to internalizing it because internalizing it kind of says this is the reason why without actually reflecting on yourself. You kind of say like, this is why, it's because I'm a terrible person, I'm whatever. And you kind of don't give that power to yourself to be able to control that narrative. Whereas with being reflective, you actually ask yourself in a more curious way and being like, okay, is my portfolio strong enough? What can I do about it? So giving yourself that control back to be able to change that narrative towards the direction that you want it to is something that I definitely recommend. So reflect after applying, not all the time, but essentially when you start seeing a pattern of rejections for certain roles that you're applying for, look back on your portfolio and look at some of the strengths and weaknesses and start acting on them as well. If you find that you keep getting rejected from a certain role, I would recommend branching out. And branching out is a good thing because you might actually pick up on certain skills that can build you up for the role that you want. It's more to do with upskilling. For example, for me, I started doing parts modeling as a way to get me into beauty modeling. So I started realizing, oh, I have quite nice like hands and certain features on my face and stuff like that. In doing parts modeling, I started learning how to um, extenuate these features which are necessary for beauty, because with beauty, like everything is just so up close. So you really need to know how to kind of do things and execute them perfectly. And parts modeling really helped me with that. And it was something that I branched into, something that I realized that I actually like as well. So don't be afraid to branch out into other types of modeling that I explain about in one of my videos. I encourage you to be a lot more open-minded and branch out into other stuff that could really be your strength. Thank you guys for watching. I hope that I have at least brought a more positive light to rejection. It's definitely not an easy thing to go through, but it can really be positive if you make it positive, and you can still be in control even if you do get rejected. It's not out of your control. You can essentially realign yourself to things that are more aligned to what it is that you want. So I hope that this video was insightful, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.